What's going on, everybody? Today I am talking about me. Shocking. Um Today I'm not going to be dissecting a specific social issue or something going on in the world that I have an opinion on. Today I just want to kind of sit back and talk about me and my journey to minimalism. And I want to talk about how I got to a place where I am incorporating myself into a very minimalist lifestyle now. And I'm really scaling down all of my worldly possessions to a point of the bare necessities. So if you've ever considered it, this is just my personal story. This is just my personal journey with it. And maybe it'll be something that is relatable to you. So let's have a conversation.
I don't do regrets. I'm trying to learn from my lessons, but do I get it yet? I wanna set an example, but I'm not sure I can handle all my demons. I'm thinking that I should court a vet. I fight for all respect. I'm working overtime to keep in my head. I understand I'll get the love when I'm dead, so my focus is red. Choose the black out on what's keeping me chosen. I've been the token, now the back is ahead. On my soapbox, chucking.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome and welcome back to JorjaCarolina, your gated and racism-free community where we personalize culture and entertainment and then curate a conversation that's based in self-discovery and growth. I am your pop culture coordinator of all things inclusion and awareness, Jordan Renee. And I'm happy to have you guys back for another video. All right, so today we're going to talk about minimalism and we're going to talk about my personal experience with it. And we're going to just kind of dive into why I basically threw away the majority of my worldly possessions and like why I scaled myself down to like only wearing black clothing, only having like one of almost everything that I have, trying to get down to that. Because for me, it goes back to my abandonment issues. And so I hold on to things, not necessarily that have sentimental value, but they have the idea of sentimental value. Like, I feel like this was supposed to be a special moment for me, or it is something that I hold on to because I thought it was going to be great, but it didn't turn out great, or what if? And I think I hold on to a lot of things that I want to be better than they are. So I start to collect things and hold on to things that don't really serve me any purpose, but it makes me feel like I have some sort of purpose and some sort of value when it comes to the things that I own. I think that I held on to things for a long time to give me substance. You know, I love a conversation piece. I love to have things that are interesting and make people talk and be like, wow, what's that? So I kept a lot of little things and knickknacks and bits and pieces and things just because I knew that if somebody saw it, they'd be like, wow, that's cool. But then I also had a realization like, girl, you're a recluse. Like, you don't talk to anybody, you don't go anywhere, and you damn sure don't have anybody in your personal space to be looking at your personal tchotchkes anyway. Like, you're not, like, what are you holding on to these things for? And then I've gotten to a place in my life where, going back to what I was saying earlier about me holding on to the idea of memories, I think that now when I look at certain things, it makes me sadder. Like the fact that, and this is something that I'm struggling with, it's me not being able to cope with not having or not being or not accomplishing things at a certain time. Like mind you, I'm 30 and I have wanted to do certain things and I thought that I would be certain places and have accomplished certain things by now. And to see that I'm not there, you know, it triggers me a lot. So it causes me to be really self-deprecating to myself because it makes me step back and think, okay, well, why couldn't you step out of your own way? Like, why did you get in your own way? Why did you let all these other things and all these other people and all these other situations weigh you down and hold you back and stop you from being your greatest self? Why didn't you believe in yourself more? Why didn't you push harder? Why didn't you find the confidence to go out and do what you knew you had the capabilities of doing? And I don't have the answers to that. And I think that's what hurts me the most in current day, is that I don't know. I think I grew up really upset that I never really had anybody that believed in me. And for some reason, I never believed in myself enough, because I grew up being made to feel like, because I was a certain way or because of whatever, like I'm not good enough. And I guess I grew up with this people pleaser kind of mentality. So if the people who I wanted to make proud weren't proud of me, then I felt like, okay, well, what good am I? Do you get what I'm saying? It may sound very extreme, but I don't know, like, maybe it's because I grew up watching all of these True Hollywood stories and these drivens and these behind the musics, where these stars that I look up to and that I love, they had their parents to believe in them, and they had their parents to, push them and sacrifice and, see their talent and want their child to succeed and be all that they can be. And I never had that. Like, and by the time that I did even get an ounce of that, I think I was so set in that mindset that I couldn't even grasp opportunities that were being presented to me, and I couldn't appreciate moments that I was having, because I couldn't believe that it would be happening to me, or like I would think, nah, this is just gonna be this moment, like I'm not gonna really make it, people don't see it, and it started so early that for some reason I was never able to turn it around, like. And that's just, it triggers a lot of guilt for me. It triggers a lot of shame for me. And it makes me think, like, why wasn't I able to get past all of the shit that was in my way? Why didn't I believe in myself more? Why did I feel like I needed someone to believe in me so much? Why did I feel like I needed to have support from people? And I guess it's just like, okay, I'm just a kid. What good am I? Like, what can I do? But to tie that into material possessions, I hold on to a lot of things from my childhood that take me back to memories of me positively, like, seeing myself as that person. And, I have held on to things. I've gotten rid of all of them now, but I've held on to certain things that I've had that I was a kid, that, like the old jukebox that I had in my room when I was practicing learning lyrics, or the VHS tapes that I had when I would record music videos off of countdown shows and learn all the choreography, or, I kept things like that for a long time. And now those things are just troubling to me, because I don't understand. Like, I go back and I remember all the potential and all the, I've said this before on my channel, I don't know a time where I haven't wanted to be on stage or perform or use my talent as the thing that makes me money. I've never not wanted to be an entertainer. Like, I've always wanted to be a dancer. I've always wanted to back up dance for Janet, host 106 in Park, have a radio show that came right after Angie Martinez, and, have a hit rap album. Like, I've always wanted to do all of these things before I died. And for some reason, I just never believed in myself, because I never had support from others. And now it genuinely feels like a test that I've continuously failed my entire life. And now I look at people who are younger than me, who are so catastrophically successful, and it doesn't, rise any jealousy or anything like that. If anything, it makes me just look at myself more so than them. And it doesn't make me look at why do they have, it makes me look at why didn't I chase? My depression and my self-doubt, and not to mention my body dysmorphia, the fact that I was going through assault at the time, and I have such a full and loaded history with trauma after trauma after trauma after trauma, that on top of not having a real stable support system, I also like became a bit of an agoraphobic. Like, I was scared of people. Like, I have really dark trust issues, and I know it's extreme to say that I'm scared of people when I sit here and I talk on a YouTube channel and I, engage in live chats, and I call into people's YouTube channels, but it's different. Like, me talking into this rectangle, me, living in your phone, is not me interacting with you. And I guess that's, I don't know. I try to use that as an avenue to do good things and speak up for good and be great and, represent Black excellence, trans excellence, third gender excellence. And some people decide to use that opportunity to spew hate and negativity, which I will never understand, but that's also not why we're here. To purge all of the material possessions that I felt like were attached to memories of my childhood and me growing up, and then eventually became implicative of my failures in the way that I see it, it really kind of gave me a clean slate. It really gave me an opportunity to start over. It really gave me an opportunity to wash away all the guilt that I had attached to not being there for myself, because I didn't feel like I had anybody there for me. And it gives me the opportunity to be there for myself now. I tell myself all the time, Morgan Freeman didn't get his big break until he was 52. There are some people who don't get their breaks until they're older, And like, maybe I had to go through all of these things to learn how to be there for myself and to learn how to take care of myself emotionally, so that when I step into this lane, I'm actually really met with the opportunity that I'm destined to get. I feel like I'll be fully prepared for it. Do you get what I mean? I do feel like now I am the most prepared for the things that I want out of my life than I ever have been. And I do feel like I am in a better place to walk into opportunity, not only prepared, but emotionally stable. I do feel like now I'm in a position to believe in myself regardless of anybody believes in me or not, because I can say that I do still kind of suffer from that. I do have people around me who, for all intents and purposes, are supportive, but they're not a support system. Do you get what I mean? So I'm still working my way through that, but in purging everything from my old life, from my entire life. Like, it started with my clothes. Like, I just got rid of everything that wasn't the color black. Everything that wasn't the color black and maybe the color gray or white. Like, I really wanted to just narrow it down to just that, and then just start there. That was my first step. And then it went to me getting rid of all of my old headphones that don't work, or that I've lost one of, because I really held on to headphones for a long time. Like, I really had a strong connection to headphones, because, as you may or may not know, if you've watched my first Music Monday on this channel, music is the foundation of everything that I do. It's the foundation of everything that I am. So it was a way for me to hold on to a way to detach and dissociate from the world around me. If I had headphones on, I was able to basically tune into my own bubble and tune into my own world. And also, it was a way to keep music directly in my ears at all times, or keep entertainment or things that I felt like were teaching me new ways to approach the career that I wanted to have directly in my ears at all times. So headphones were a really big obsession for me. I had at least 10, 15 pairs of headphones at one time. Not that I would have on me at all times, but just that I, had in my possession. And I threw all of those away. And It's just, it's just me throwing away all of these things that make me think, well, damn, like, why didn't I go after this? Why didn't I do this? Why didn't I push harder? Why don't I love myself more? And I say it in that context because it is a present tense conversation. Like, I do have to continuously have that conversation with myself and remind myself that I am worth loving, and that I am someone who is deserving of all the things that I want out of life. And just because I didn't go for them when I was younger and push past all the obstacles and didn't have the emotional intelligence to believe in myself at 12 doesn't mean that I shouldn't be able to step into that and go forth on that same journey, knowing what I know now as a 30-year-old. So with that being said, I don't necessarily recommend minimalism specifically for like, I'm not here to recommend it or, stand on it as a practice. I'm just specifically kind of talking about what's helped me and the things that I'm implementing into my own life to help me kind of cope through my own journeys, because I live with a lot of trauma and I'm dealing with a lot of things. And so the ways that are helping me deal with it are, throwing away all of my shit and starting over and just only wearing one color and just keeping it to, a few shirts. Like, I have a few shirts that are seasonal, like I have 3 or 4 black t-shirts for the summer and the springtime, and then I have 3 or 4 sweatshirts for the wintertime, and then I have 2 turtlenecks, and a few sweatpants, and the only thing black that I don't completely own are jeans. I do have black jeans, but sometimes I do wear regular blue denim jeans. And outside of that, I have a few little dressy things that I keep just when I want to really turn a look, and they're like my favorite pieces of clothing. And so I hold on to a couple little things that are just, it's those things that, like, you keep for the event that, like, you may go somewhere one day, so you hold on to it even though you're probably not going to go there for at least another 5 years, but you hold on to it knowing that one day, if you ever go to some event like this, you would have this for a look. I have a lot of stuff like that. I've had to get rid of a lot of stuff like that, but I do have a couple of my favorite things that it gives me a sense of optimism that one day I'm going to wear this stuff somewhere. It gives me like a sense of hope, and it gives me a goal to wear this somewhere and to create a look out of this and to do something with this. So yeah, that's one of my New Year's resolutions, if you will, is to push myself to go out more, to do different things, to physically involve myself in more things, and even on the internet, like, engage with more content creators, even though I don't know how successful I'm going to be at that right away, but we'll see how that goes. Recommend me some content creators that you guys think that I would get along with and gel with, and that I could collab with on this channel, that you think would want to collab with me. Now, mind you, I'm probably not going to reach out to them, but I am going to get into their content. Because there's people who I want to reach out to, but, like, I'm also, like, in that minimalism conversation, I've also, like, try to minimalize my need for things, or like my need for support, my need for collaboration, my need for validation, my need for quick growth and an immediate trajectory. Like, I'm not looking for a meteoric rise. I'm looking for something that is organic and that is loaded with longevity, right? So I understand that the way that I approach my channel, I'm probably going to have the growth that I want to have in a longer time frame, but I want to be able to be so proud of the content that I'm producing that I'm willing to take the long road to my success, because I know that it's going to be impactful and timeless, right? So, I'm just trying to minimalize all of my worldly possessions that I feel like hold me back and that keep me trapped in boxes, that keep me from growing and believing in myself and pushing myself to my greatest potential. And the things that I hold on to, I feel like give me a sense of optimism and a goal and a desire to want to succeed, to make me want to push for certain things. And outside of that, it's just bare necessities. Do you get what I mean? These earrings that I'm wearing, I made both of these. This feather is from a bracelet that I had when I was a kid. It was my favorite bracelet, and like I literally had it for ever and ever and ever and ever and ever, and this is literally all that's left of it. And so I made an earring out of it the other day, and then this earring here is the key to my best friend's apartment. Alex, I've spoken about him on the channel, who tragically passed away from taking their own life in 2020. And so this is the key to his apartment. So I wear it sort of as a Janet tribute, but also as like a fashioning twist on it for Alex. And so those are my earrings. I really don't wear a lot of jewelry anymore. I have a couple, bamboo earrings and things that I've had over the years and years and years that I just want to keep and, give to my daughter one day. But outside of that, my personal possessions are very limited, and it makes me so happy. I feel so free. I feel so light. I feel so unobligated and so untied down. I feel like I could just pick up and move at all times, because honestly, I feel like I am a bit of a gypsy. Like, I feel like I'm meant to not stay in one place too long. If I got into the history of my life, it's been a consistent history of picking up and moving places and creating entirely new identities to start over, because I want to disassociate from the trauma that I'm leaving and going to a new place. There's so many situations where I've done that, where I've not only just started in a new place because I've moved, I've started with a whole new identity, right? So it's just, me choosing minimalism is a way to narrow in on something solid and something consistent in me, to really kind of zero in on the bare bone basics of what it is I want out of life and what I feel like I need to be whole or to be okay. Do you get what I mean? I want to relieve myself of the need to have certain things. Like, I don't want to need to have this or need to have that or need to have this or need to have that. I want to be able to want certain things or enjoy certain things, but be able to disconnect from the need of material possessions, especially ones that I've held on to for years that impact me negatively. But I hold on to them because there's also some positivity that is in it. I just want to start over. So I'm using minimalism as a way to completely shed the skin of my old life, and a way for me to just walk into my new life with as little as possible and with no baggage, and just try to create the life that I want now, free of my guilt and my chains that held me to my past, because there's a lot of guilt that I'm working through that comes with that. I feel bad. Like, it sucks that I didn't have people there for me, but it also, I think what hurts me the most is that I wasn't there for myself, and I didn't stand up and be there for myself, and I just allowed people to make me feel worthless for my entire life. And then, and the fact that I still am dealing with the remnants and the residue of that is shameful for me. So me choosing minimalism was like a high kick in the ass for me to like push myself into shedding all of that skin and shedding all of that baggage and shedding all of that guilt, and walking into my life as a fully realized person who understands that what they went through and what they're coming out of is negative, but it's also a teachable lesson to teach you to never go back there again. You always want to go the opposite direction of that. So I want to be able to put it down and leave it there and walk away from it, and just build myself as anew with a focus on my potential and my talent and my true raw organic, authentic, being, and let that be everything that I need to survive, succeed. And yeah, I feel like I'm missing a point, but I'll probably add it in a voiceover later. But with that being said, I appreciate all of you guys for being here. If you're new here, thank you for visiting Georgia, Carolina. I hope that you take up some real estate, because we would love to have you on a more permanent basis. If you're returning, thank you so much for coming back. I love you guys so, so much from the bottom of my green heart emoji. And yeah, I appreciate you all for being here. If you like the video, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, do all of the things. And, once again, we'll be back. Peace.